Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Today, we've got the amazing Harry with us. Hi, Harry, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and thanks for coming along. I know you've had a very busy day. It's been a hectic one for you, and thank you for coming along today to share your story, your views, and your expertise with the listeners. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, no problem at all.
It's an absolute pleasure. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do?
Sure, so I'm Harry. I'm 21. It's my birthday like the other month. And I'm from Manchester, radio host based in London.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So, tell the listeners a little bit more about how you got into doing what you do. And obviously, you're very young. So, how have you navigated that and obviously studies and all the other bits and pieces that you do?
So I originally moved from Manchester when I was 18 for uni.
Yeah.
First of all, came down as like someone that really wanted to be an artist. So
Okay.
completely different like route to what I'm on now. And came down to uni, was kind of in a stage where I just was literally trying to grab onto like every single opportunity I could, really trying to like it almost felt like I was swimming like to a current,
Yeah.
and like couldn't like work anything out and stuff. Anyway, 2 years down the line, I saw this presenter job. And I'd said to my friend, "Oh, you should do it because she's a radio presenter." And she was like, "No, you do it."
Yeah.
So clearly, I've been talking at the pub a lot because
Oh,
I just love to have a natter, love new music, and I feel like I've just been around music like pretty much since I
sure.
moved to London. So
And obviously, moving from Manchester to London, that's a massive move. How have you managed to do that? And did you do that by yourself, or did you move with family, or is that uni? How does that work?
so I moved from Manchester. It was like a little town just outside called Stockport,
Right.
all by myself. I've wanted to do like I feel like my main one of my big passions is singing,
Okay.
as well as radio presenting.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to do it and just never had the courage. And then it got to the end of college, and I did three random A levels,
Oh,
and was officially I was just like, you know what, if I'm not gonna do this, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do.
I get what you're saying as well. Like, I think sometimes we push ourselves because it's a passion from what it sounds like, and it's something you've always done from a very young age. Did you kind of have
Yeah,
like, did you you kind of touched on it a little bit, but did you have a musical education specifically, or was that more broad ranging?
it was literally I've had no like kind of theory or like
Oh,
practical until like university where you're kind of on your own frolic anyway.
yeah.
Um, but I was always kind of like thought I was going a bit insane just because it was a bit like no one around me does music. My
Yeah.
best friend like used to play the guitar and I used to be like, oh, like oh my gosh, but like I never showed any like sign that I wanted to do it. So when I was like, I want to do music, everyone was like, what?
It doesn't pay the bills. Music doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, they're like, get a real job. I was like, no, well, they didn't say that, but I was like, that was like usually like the vibe when it comes to like freelancing. Everyone kind of just doesn't believe in it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, completely. Just I did like business law and geography A level. GCSEs was like geography. I love geography. I want to travel.
And a bit of history
I
as well.
yeah, yeah. So it was completely not music related.
Right. Okay. Very interesting. And how important is your personality? Because I know you've got on a massive personality. You're so kind and bubbly. How important do you think that is today in like being your authentic self and also getting the
Mm.
that you've got?
I think it's like if you can notice that you make other people happy as well,
Yeah.
it's like so important to like first of all be with yourself first, because
Yeah.
then I truly feel like you can't truly give your all to someone or something if you're not
True to yourself.
giving it all to yourself.
Yeah.
And if like and that's authentic, you could try, but it wouldn't be authentic. Um, but I do truly feel like, especially since moving to uni, self-care has been like a big thing for me.
Gotta be.
Um, because like I'm by myself and I'm like I've never used to be by myself. If you're like always around people, it's so easy to like bounce off and
Yeah.
kind of when once you're by yourself, it's kind of like right. What about this?
All right. It's a little bit lonely. So, people that are like navigating that difference between
Mm,
social life and following your dreams? Because I know it can be a bit lonely at times and feel isolated
yeah.
as well. How have you managed to deal with that?
I think mainly having like a good tight knit support, like people around you,
Yeah.
going home quite a few times just to like reground,
Yes.
and just really just make sure you're taking care of yourself because at the start, like I used to just literally like go to college and see friends. And, like I'd
Yeah.
never do like I don't know, like meditation is something that I've gotten into recently,
Yeah.
and even stuff like that, just to like quiet and down, just relax.
Yeah.
I think, especially in a creative industry, and entertainment is so important because it can be crazy.
It's super busy and it can be very fast paced. So I totally agree with you. I
Mm,
do affirmations, I do prayers, I do meditation.
mm,
I try and incorporate
100%.
routine. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it gives you
Mm,
grounding, but also that, that kind of space where you can just be creative in your mind and just
yeah,
thing away, which is super important. So
yeah.
thank you for sharing that actually.
Being comfortable, like
Yeah.
where you feel like it's comfortable. I also think it's like being of like observant of where you don't feel comfortable because that's just as valuable, you know.
And that shadow work, I'm trying to do that this year. So that's something I'm incorporating into this year's work.
Oh my, yeah, oh my gosh, love that.
Yeah, so I love that. Thank you. And Harry, how do you identify and what kind of and struggles and barriers have you faced accessing the entertainment and music industry?
I think the main struggles and like barriers would probably be, I don't know, I feel like um it's like I'm not quite sure really. I feel like main barriers would probably be like feeling like I need to do more,
Yeah.
always feeling like I need to like, but that kind of comes with like comparison. I think the main barriers would just be like needing to give like surrender and just kind of be like, right, it's all going to be fine, so chill.
Yeah, I think
You know,
that's hard though.
it is really, I know exactly, and it's like kind of the fear of the unknown and kind of stuff like that. But I think as well, like then the drive is created through that
Yeah.
feeling like I don't know, it's not, it's kind of like I'm not sure. I think my main barrier would probably be myself.
I think
That sounds so deep, but it's I can't think of.
it's kind of looking at yourself and growing inside, but also feeling confident as well and being,
Mm,
trusting in the process. Because I think
mm,
sometimes we put a lot of pressure onto ourselves. We want to make a difference. We want to help others. And sometimes
mm.
we look after ourselves, which is what you're really, really saying there. And
Yeah,
how has that impacted you in the way you feel about yourself at times in your career path? Do you feel that you sometimes had to feel like, oh, I need to keep going and I can't stop, or you constantly got to be in it?
I always me and my close friend here, we like are like workaholics and we don't know when to stop. So we're kind of in that cycle of like I'm burnt out and then I'm burnt out and then I'm burnt out and it's like wait, let's not get burnt out. Like let's work hard at not burning out as well as working hard, which sounds like such a complex thing, but as soon as that's tackled, I think like the taking care of yourself and having that, good support network around you. I feel like I've just diverted from the question. What was it again? Sorry.
It was absolutely fine, actually. It was just about how it impacted you and the way you feel about your career path. And do you constantly
Mm,
go in and do you take breaks and, that kind of stuff?
yeah, I think it's just as well when I made that switch in January last year. That was the first part where I was a bit like, this is like I'd never thought I'd be doing this,
Yeah.
and it's only been recently that I've like started to kind of interview people on the show, and like I when I first moved to London, if you told me I'd be doing that, I would be like, what? Like what? And just completely not because I feel like with the music, it's a kind of I see it as like a release or like an expression, and then kind of interviewing and radio makes me really excited and just like talking to people, like understanding people from like their perspective and putting it into yours. Like you don't even need to understand where they're coming from, and I find that so interesting as well. But I think the way it probably affected me was kind of jumping onto a different career path, feeling like, what am I actually? meant to be doing here because I this is the plan and it's not going to plan. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're quite natural at what you do. I don't think you really have to try. I think, some people are born with certain talents, and I think you're just a very relatable, down to earth personality that's
Oh,
likable. And I think that's really,
thank you.
that really is, that's really important. And obviously, hearing some of your story, how important do you think identity is in everything that we do today, especially around music and entertainment?
Mm. I think it's really important knowing your like what you mean to yourself and
Yes.
kind of what your work means to you and what other people's work means to you and kind of what just every how you see the world
Yeah.
is such an incredible thing to share. And I think it's so cool to relate to people, but then also to see like why do they think like that, or like why do they, or how like trying to understand different perspectives because at the end like everyone is one, but in
We're
their own unique way.
right, exactly.
Which
We're on the same.
yeah,
We are.
yeah.
I love that. Thank you. And what's your thoughts and feelings at the moment on equality, diversity, and inclusion? How well do you think we're doing at the moment?
I'm not quite sure. Like I kind of a few months ago, I was like, if I hear the news one more time, not happening, not happening. I don't have news on the show, not by choice, but it's just not on there anyway. But if I hear the news or like watch the news or get invested, I used to get so invested when I was younger,
Yeah,
and it used to like I used to traumatize myself
doesn't it?
like by because it's just feeds at you. But that is the thing is like with that kind of media, that's their job to not they don't mean bad and stuff, but it's kind of like the whole reaction
Yeah,
that their work gives, fear-based beliefs and etc.
exactly.
Just isn't healthy, and like I don't want to turn on the news and be made sad for something that I think it's so important to be aware of the things going on and to observe those and have your own opinions about them. But I don't think getting absolutely invested
Yeah,
in
it's a good idea.
like like a person, or I'm not quite sure, but I don't know. But I do think.
And yeah,
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Go.
change or something, then yeah, I totally agree with being invested in it. But if it's like a war that we don't have much control over,
Mm,
how much we can do,
yeah.
it brings you down, doesn't it?
Exactly, 100%. And I think that's where the relatability comes in there because you'll get involved in something more like a movement, etc., if you relate to it more. And I think that's so important because that's an expression of like a kind of what you mean to you, which
I
is so cool.
so it's so important as well, I think, because I think,
Mm,
in today's media, we do see a lot of different stories. They can be conflicting, and they can also have
mm,
or a positive impact on certain communities. So it's
yeah,
that open mind and build those bridges and build allies, I think, from all different communities. So that's something
yeah,
of too, being a trans woman is making these
mm,
allies and bridges with other communities that might not be the same as mine, but we can understand and we can share and we can support.
yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, I love that. I love it. It's because I don't really, I think I need to be more aware of what's going on around me because I can sometimes just literally like zone into my own bubble to the point where I'm just like walking down the street. I don't know what's going on anywhere
Yeah,
unless it's like next door.
I'm kind of
Um, but it is so important to know what's going on and stuff because I think because I used to get so involved when I was younger that I've just been like, nah,
I'll
you
step
know,
yeah.
yeah, take a step back. Yeah.
What would you like to see improve in the next couple of years around music and entertainment?
Um, I think everyone needs to come together a bit more. I think there's like a divide, and like there has been for ages in like different people used to put like hierarchies on different things and stuff like that. And I kind of just see everyone as
Okay. We're all the same. We're just people.
yeah, and I
Right?
and I don't think that like some kind of egotistical view should make someone see like higher or lower on someone.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that maybe over the next few years, hopefully people like come together and a bit more and kind of all just choose love.
Yeah.
And
Love.
yeah, it'll be I think just as a mass, just everything. I think in depth in like maybe like radio or entertainment, I don't exactly have like enough knowledge to know like where the different parts um
Come
don't
together.
like align and etc. But I do think there needs to just be a whole thing where everyone just, what's the point in like hatred? Like, what is the point? It must get tiring.
Doesn't get anyone anywhere, does it? And I think that's
No.
the sad thing about it. It just divides people rather than bringing that unity, which is what
Mm,
we're looking for, and we want to belong. And I think that's
yeah.
as well, isn't it? It's feeling that belonging and that purpose,
Mm.
that pleasure that you get out of doing something you enjoy.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well, if when people find what they enjoy doing and keep on doing that, they'll see the benefits as well. So um, maybe it's the thing where people just haven't wanted to like hasn't haven't had enough courage to do maybe what they wanted to do, like me for years, and I was literally like, no, I cannot do it, but I really want to do it, and that is exactly what I needed to do, you know.
That's really inspirational. And that makes me smile because I've been through the same struggles as you. So I can really relate to that. And I think
Mm,
the thing I love about music too is it's about relatability, but in your own view and your own
yeah.
lens, seeing it from other people's too. That really
Mm.
works across the board.
And it's so amazing when every like say you get like a group of people with the same kind of perspectives, or like an individual, it's just so cool.
Isn't it? And that's what I love about meeting so many like-minded creatives across the board. I really
Mm.
love it actually. I was going to say to you, do you think age and cultural differences have an impact on the kind of equality and diversity we can achieve at the moment? Because we've got a lot of different societies here in the UK and it's very diverse.
Mm.
They don't
I
all.
think I probably see it most with maybe like uh people feeling like they're too old to do something, or
Yeah.
there's the comparison comes in, and people maybe feel like because of their age they need to like pack it in and stop,
Yeah.
or because they might not be in the like say if there's a soul singer that goes into a pop bar, maybe the reaction of the audience won't be what it would be in a soul bar.
Oh,
And I think that like diversity there,
yes.
that's the most beautiful thing about London, like moving down from like a little town. I really think London is like one of the most incredible, like there's so many different communities and cultures. And I think from an outsider's perspective of like growing up outside of London, you're always taught, keep your head down, and it could like, don't get me wrong, there's like dangerous stuff that goes on in London, etc. But I think it's just an incredible place. Like I've not seen much kind of inequality compared to say in like a small little town where everyone's got one view
Right.
until they grow older.
So important. I'm from Oxford originally, so I kind of understand.
Oh,
Yeah, a little
mm,
bit. But we could talk about this north-south divide as well, because I think more of the music industry and the entertainment industry is moving up north now, slightly a little.
yeah.
Do you think that's had an impact on you and obviously your career and you having to move down here?
So I kind of moved from Manchester because I was like, I'm not in a band and I don't rap, so I think I'm gonna go to
I know.
London.
Oh,
Um, so I know there's a big entertainment industry up in Media City, which is cool. I went on like this tour once with my dad and my sister, and we like looked around all the TV stuff, and they had like Five Live,
oh no.
and like the ITV voice bit, which is cool. And like that's the only bit I've really seen. Obviously, you got Corrie
Yeah, you have.
and stuff like that, but I think in terms of like what I see now, my current network I've built here, and I feel like if I went there, it'd be cool to discover it more. But I've not really discovered much in Manchester regarding kind
Yeah.
of what I'm doing right now. So it's quite interesting to hear about it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that one, actually. And being in the music industry or the entertainment industry, I think a lot of people keep trying. There's a lot of failures, there's a lot of
Mm,
learning along the way. Do you think
mm,
it affects your mental health and the way you feel about yourself, especially when you're trying to figure out yourself, you're growing, you're learning, you're doing new
mm.
things? Does that have an impact on the way you feel and your mental health?
I think the main thing would be like burnout being too much in here in my mind, because like when it gets busy, I can like you need to create space. Like you need to create space if you get busy, because it can you like it would just do it for yourself, you know. It's I think that in the past, like it's taken many times where I've got busy and then I've been like, wow, what is good, and then it's quiet and then I'm like, I want more, and then it's, you know, I think the main mental toll would probably be proper just like what is going on, but like knowing I love what I'm doing, so like I'm not gonna give up, but it's like it's a lot of work. So since then I've tried to, well, I've now got a team behind the show, which is nice, so I can kind of like have a little overview and help them as well with their work experience if it's something they're trying to get into, and just have a nice walk if I'm feeling like my head's going to explode. Walk and a coffee and a view.
I love that. And you're also giving back to others and helping others to grow and progress. So say someone's come into the industry that you're in right now and they're
Yeah.
looking to get a first placement. How would they go about that? And what's some good advice that you could share with them?
So I think radio broadcasting currently is a bit crazy within the last week, because one of the biggest companies in the industry, global, have folded in a lot of community radio and local stations. And it's harder now for aspiring, say, like producers and like presenters to get more into that scene without going to like a creative academy. And I think what I'd probably say is community radio, or like a podcast, but that would be cool, you know, just anything that you kind of enjoy and is in that kind of umbrella of what you feel like would mold
Yeah.
what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But I think Future Hits has been great because that came out of nowhere. And I don't know of many other stations
Do that.
in that kind of community where I would say local ones, but I feel like radio is a kind of thing where if you're tired of streaming, etc., or if you're in the car, then you'd probably turn it on. But I'd probably say community radio.
I love a bit of community radio. I think it supports and it also amplifies, you know, underrepresented and marginalized groups, which is really, really important too. But also to build local communities and show that sense of solidarity and also spread a word, right? Which is really, really
Yeah.
important. Somewhere you've got to start local and then build it. That's really, really crucial to grassroots.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you for that as well. And I'd just like to say to you, you know, have you ever suffered from discrimination or any kinds of different treatment being in the industry you've been in, or has it been okay?
It's actually been all right currently.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's been fine. And I think any kind of thing like that is, it's so easy to kind of, when if it comes out of nowhere as well, it's kind of thing where it's like, well, I didn't think of that, and now I've been faced with it, and a way, and I think dealing with that as well is kind of like that's a bit unusual. Like it's like when someone says something new for the first time, whether it's right or wrong, it's kind of ponders, and when it's some,
yeah, thinking
and
about
then it's, yeah, and it's kind of like, it's like a developing maybe thing where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna see how I react to that. But it's so hard when it's kind of like something that I care about a lot.
yes.
I'd probably just, I don't know, hopefully I think just keeping myself in like a little bubble. No, I wouldn't read any comments. I have got one of my friends,
Yeah.
and she kind of had quite a bit of hate on social media, on TikTok in particular. And it was like horrible to see her going through that and being affected by that, because in a world which is so externally focused currently on, like, you know, what other people are doing and social media, it's so horrible to see that on the outside. So I just took a phone and deleted all the comments, lol. But and I was like, what comments? She was like, but I was like, you don't want to see them, so you're not seeing them, you know. Even having that kind of level where it's like, you know, I'm just gonna like delete the comments and like not read them and just delete them. But like I see, yeah, it's crazy.
Well done, you. And do you know what? This has really, really been inspirational. I love speaking to you, and I've learned so much as well. Like,
Oh,
you
thank you.
awesome. Like, have you got any major wins or successes coming up? And how could people connect with you, find out more about the work you do, listen to your radio show?
So I I think there's quite a few plans 2025, hopefully. The main thing behind the show is to share valuable advice with those who are starting out, those who need it, those need a push to be more inspired. Like I remember watching Beyonce's Coachella, and I was like, whoa, that is just mad, you know, just anything like just like Super Bowls, like the Coldplay, Bruno Mars, like that kind of stuff, you know, having something that hopefully people would have the same reaction from an artist they love with, you know, like a high energy environment and they're like, you know, they can relate to the artist, they can relate to the interview. Um, Hopefully there's a few things where some familiar faces in pop culture, hopefully. Um,
Sounds good.
it's giving award shows, but I don't know yet. But yes, should be cool. But you can listen to the show on Future Hits every Saturday. We're on 1 till 4 p.m.
Well,
Only upcoming emerging artists are pop, indie, R&B. So
love it.
it's vibes.
I'm definitely tuning in to listen.
Yes, please do let me know what you think.
100% I will do. I'll leave all the links in the description. Now, Harry, if anyone wants to connect with you personally on social media or anywhere else, could they do so?
Yeah, sure. So I'm at Harry Waring
Yeah.
on Instagram and kind of Facebook, but I don't usually use Facebook. Like you might catch me like on the reels, like flicking like, oh my gosh. But Harry Waring, WeAring, and the show is at Saturday.showcase.
Awesome.
So
I'll put in the link. So thank you ever so much. I appreciate your time. You have been absolutely fabulous. I know your radio show is going to be even better than this. So everyone should
what? No!
listen to
Thank you so much.
it.
What?
So, keep up the amazing work and just say thank you ever so much and a massive happy new year to you as well.
Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Harry, thank you.